Hi guys, this is Crossy. Welcome to Eclipse Gaming TV and another ESEA Open game as we have XPG Invicta female squaring off against Komp5, and it's going to be Nuke again. So let's see if we can get a little more success for the all-female team this time around. I hope I'm not going to be a bad luck charm after the 16-1 that happened last time out, about an hour and a half ago, something like that. Fingers crossed we don't see the repeat. XPG Invicta starting off on the T side. So similar kind of setup after the knife round. And let's see if they can get a little more going on stream than we got to see in the first game. Steady setup, spreading out nicely into the lobby area, just waiting for any little pushes to come in and that sort of thing. I'm sure we won't see any YOLO CT pushes this early on in the game. This is the entry into ramp room. This could be a little slow. There's one player, so his position is known. Nice work from behind as well, I guess that must have been. But Neo has pushed through. But Neo and Ned. We'll go with Ned, it looks like capital D's. He makes his way out through hut, so 2v2 situation with the bomb planted down into lower. Showing maybe coming out a little too early, could have waited for his teammate Ned to come in, who's tapping away with silenced USP in hand. Showing able to grab Lena, and that's going to be the defuse coming in. Nice work from XPG, they're getting the bomb plant in. So that's going to allow them to go for a third round AK buy, or they could even go for it here if they want to, but it's just a little more risky. See scrub buys against a couple of pharmacies and M4, a couple of SMGs as well. Dive semi-successful, and Letty spamming through the smoke, able to find showing from main entrance. That's a nice little way to get things started. I'm pleased with that. Bomb's still safe in the hands of Eva as they decide where they want to move on from. Bell and ramp, able to find Letty. But bomb plant down into lower, so Bell's going to get on their bike. Little sound cue from that fall. And Zoria able to pick up the frag from there. Eva getting hunted down, finds the one dig. That was tidy. Remaining Komp5 player is mopped up by Zoria in the ramp. Walking into a crossfire. And we're back to 1-1. This is ESEA Open. Season is back up and running. And where I found out about this game was CSGO female ranking on Twitter. Some very good looking spreadsheets up for grabs. It's a nice little dig shot up onto yellow. But there's a spreadsheet with all of the fixtures, the times which teams are playing, etc. So it's a good opportunity to watch some female CS, especially with the ESEA back up and running. There'll be plenty of games kicking about. I'll try and stream as many as I can for you. Stacking up there, ready for a push into A. The guy above hut could be a problem. If he gives the game away too early, he will get traded out. Invicta. He'll be trying to do as much as he can with a bit of an assist from teammates coming in. Bell's found one, and this has worked pretty well, leaving Letty on her own just next to the opposite vent. Traded out in the end. That was a bit of a skirmish. But it's tough. If you're the guy above hut and you give the game away too early and they don't entry out through the door and instead hang by the door and take you out of there, that does open up the bomb site like a tin of beans. But if you are able to hang in there, wait until the players have pushed through and then get some support from one of your teammates, you can really do damage. Eva, I think we have to call that a shot missed with a deagle. Opportunity lost. Does get the tag at least. And that's going to allow them to have control of Rampart if they want it. Lena goes and tries to show the push into lower, but Bell picked up the frag maybe just a little bit too early for this to pan out how they want to. And they've already got a good setup, as you can see. Guy up in the nest there should be able to mop up these remaining two players. And they get stuck in a little bit of a kill shoot. So early signs, as Auto Director royally lets me down about 17 times in one round. Komp5 have a pretty good handle on their setup. You might argue they haven't been particularly challenged in upper. And then there hasn't really been an entry frag for XPG Invicta to really work off of. On that side, all you got to do is take one player out and then it opens up an angle. And I find whichever spot you play, it is quite tough when you're a man down in the upper side. You just don't have enough utility to really slow down. See from there, they're trying to get something going from Squeaky. There's a player walking around from outside, but she came in just a little too late. Bell going to pick a pocket. Takes Gatler's purse. And anything like that you can do on CT side. You've only got to lose a round or two and then you really start to feel the squeeze of the money. So whatever you can... Oh, that's a reaction. That's unbelievable. You see, tanks the shot into nest, but makes that first one. The reaction swing one dig. So we haven't seen a full commit to the outside and drop secret play yet with Smokes. Maybe we'll start to get there now with maximum loss bonus built up for XPG Invicta. Frag above nest, traded straight out though by Ned, and Bell with the AWP in from Matt, gets one, make it two before traded out. And 3v2 in favour of Komp5. Got good information on where these players are as well towards back steps, so they can just wait them out. Wait for them to commit down into lower. And they're in the driving seat to put themselves up 6-1. Hopperino going to look to pick up at least one of these two frags as he's getting flanked. Your teammates just setting up, ready to deal with where the push is coming from. This time it's out of nest. And they're able to trade that out nicely, 6-1. So at this stage, then XPG and Invicta really need to pull a tactic out the back of the wardrobe if they want to have a good opportunity here. Otherwise, it just starts to get away from you too much. You know, there are some maps where you can afford to lose out double figures in a half. There's plenty of opportunity to pull it back. Nuke, not necessarily one of those. They're locking down the outside, spamming away through the box. Sees a second leg, doesn't really do any damage, but he's sending off warning shots. They'll be careful to avoid him. And now got a teammate coming in there to back up, to make the refrag if Bell gets taken out. He is the man standing out in the open while they have plenty of cover down there. He finds another shot on Zoria. Nice work. Picks up a third, does Bell. I think that's putting him to the top of the scoreboard by some margin. And exactly that. Picking up frags is in his DNA. And like the Little Big song, he can take my breath away. Especially since I haven't played Counter-Strike in a little while, probably 6 weeks or so. The rifle control is definitely not going to be extra crispy. Now look at the scoreboard then, as we have a pause, a little chance to try and talk things over. Bell leading the charge, 12-4. We saw a lot of those get racked up in the last couple of rounds, really. It's been collecting frags in bunches. Certainly not playing like a couch potato so far. Hopperino maybe needs to pick it up just a little bit, but and his teammates doing the heavy lifting and putting themselves 7-1. They've got to be pleased with that. Let's see, getting pushed by Bell. He's feeling it. And why not? Drifting around the map as well. Playing a little bit from Mac, pushing now out of radio room. And you know, just because you're on the defending side on CT, it doesn't mean you have to be super passive all the time. Some controlled aggression to keep the terrorists guessing will not go amiss. And you can see checking behind these three players working from outside. They know there is a guy that can wrap around from behind, and they will be, you know, worrying about that. It's one less rifle that's going to be looking towards these angles where the CTs could be facing, could be peeking out from, and see now they're looking to put a bit of pressure on. Zoria could be in trouble, and is in trouble. The refrag does come, but it's a second too late to save their teammate. And Bell should be able to find Lena, and does. Creeping down the ladder, thought she got away with it. Gava, and then Eva, though, nice rifle control with the AK, finding that frag up towards Nest. That nade will do some serious damage, actually taking Bell down to about half. That's going to be helpful, but will it be enough? See if they can do better than the last all-female team that we watched around about an hour ago, who only managed to get one round on this map. This is for number 2. Let's see it happen. Ned spamming away. Looking for the face, didn't find either. And he's now having to get out of dodge as the bomb gets planted with about 10 seconds left to play. Catches a nade as well. So everyone left alive on the server has been dented quite nicely as far as their HP. Bell will be giving away his position, I think, from the direction of that Molotov. Eva able to find Ned and has information from her teammate spamming through. Oh, that was Gabba up in the nest. Good AK control. Second round on the board. And XPG Invicta showing that there's a bit of fight left in them still. And we'll be looking to see this kick on. Now, a few rounds on the bounce, and they can start to apply some real economic pressure to the CTs. Only needs a couple to really knock them backwards. Momentum building Bell with the AWP. That'll be outside then. Down goes Eva. Nothing really happening from there. And with the outside route taken, it just leaves them to try and make something happen from inside. And they're going to try and challenge Ramproom, which is very quickly given up. That player from under Nest, Bell, is going to try and challenge. He wisely falls away. But he's got one shot kill potential with that AWP. Maybe able to find one of these two players if they decide to challenge him. He could be in trouble, but he does find one. He won't be long for this world. He does get sprayed down, but he manages to survive. Just about. Lena tries to bounce out from the lockers. 8-2. Mini reset. XPG Invicta up against it. They do have the money to put together a little spend here if they want to. Bell very quickly cruising. Looking for a 20 bomb. First half 20 bomb. I've got him muted for some reason, so I guess I've either casted him or played against him before. Nice, easy, soft plant into lower. Don't know if we had to do much more with it, but Eva again, crisp 1 dig. Did she get the first one we saw earlier? I think so. With a second as well. Chance for a third now. Letty tapping away. And what an eco round this has turned out to be. Couple of guns available top of ramp. It's about time they look to try and retrieve those. One of those is going to be an AWP. Look at the money. They will be able to get some drops down for those two players that are under 3K. So Komp5 will have a good spend ready to go. That's a couple more rounds on the board. 8-3. Now this is turning into more of a respectable score for XPG Invicta. It's giving them something to play with. 9-6 or 8-7. Win the pistol round. You can definitely go from there. Eva gets the frag on Bell. He's trying to apply that controlled aggression, but he is getting caught out a little more than he was. It's not as easy to drift around the map, and maybe it's time to chill out a little bit. As tempted as it is to want to pad your stats even further. It's about getting that balance right. You have to show some aggression on CT side. You have to draw a line in the sand sometimes and say, you're not coming past here before we start to challenge you. But you can very quickly get to the point of being too pushy. Good little move from behind, but just made too much noise, and then Letty able to find Ned from behind the door. That's going to give them free access to the upper bomb site. (5v2), chance for a flawless victory. And while still trying to build a bankroll for the remaining 3 rounds after this one. I would definitely like to bring all those guns forward if they can. Gonna force Komp5 into something a little scrubby as well as far as their purchase goes. Going on the hunt to try and drop these last 2 guns out of Komp4 hands. Doesn't happen, and then I'll be looking to buy up around as best they can to support the weapons that they do have, most likely, or stack utility so that they can slow down as much as they can and let the big guns do the damage. Choices, choices, all about making the right one. First blood goes to Komp5. Finding Letty from above the nest. Just a little breather for both teams here. They try and figure out what their next move's going to be. So plenty of time. Zoria outside with the AWP. 2 players with potential to walk into a crosshair. Neither showing yet. Bell gets smacked down to 21 HP, but no one really there to follow up. And now it's tempting, but it's dangerous. And from the side and from above, there's a shower of bullets coming in. Zoria will want to just keep this up. Gonna be looking for headshots if anyone decides to cross.
Counter-terrorists win.
Be a bit of a nutcracker. Nothing comes of it. So they'll be buying up to support that AWP. Still got enough cash to spend into the final round if they need to as well. XPG, they're fine. And same can be said for Komp5. They can make something happen even if they lose this one. Four rounds is enough for this all-female team to put up a good fight into the second half. But we'd love to see the other 2 go on the board as well. It's a real competitive affair. Showing doing good work. From outside main, they're going to try and hunt him down. And the assistance coming in, Zoria. Second bite of the cherry, under pressure. Is traded out. 2 guns can be rebought, and let's see what we've got as far as a spend for XPG. AKs all round, utility all round, and we've got basically a full buy v buy from both of these teams for round number 15. Fast push outside again. Lena gets the first. Bell has the chance to pick off 1 at a time. Gets 2. Maybe get a chance at the 3rd, but getting smashed through the metal. 1v1 Sitch. Hyperino has been quiet. grabs the opportunity to make himself a hero here as Letty gonna yam the bomb plant down into lower. Because you don't have to worry about the double vent that used to be there in a previous iteration of the map. But he's able to check the rafters. Probably didn't have a sound cue. Just figured that was the first angle to clear. Then leaves you to look up towards ramp. 11-4 though. This get underway momentarily. You've jumped on board to watch this game. This is Crossy of Eclipse Gaming TV. Since I know that the ESEA season is back up and running, I'm going to try and jump on as much as I can. On ESEA's run, I tend to jump on and grab a random game here and there and just broadcast it. So if you want some random Counter-Strike, then drop a follow on the channel and you'll get notifications as and when I go live. And grabbing games off of HLTV is tempting, but they're all best of threes. And while I've got a bit of time off at the moment, getting back into work and getting in the door at 8 o'clock-ish, my time, definitely don't want to be jumping into a best of three. They can really drag on. Little best of one here and there though, ESEA. I'm absolutely up for that. And you get to see some crackers as well, to be fair. Some that go the distance, and so your team gets 12-3 and then they lose 13-2. Seen plenty of that on Mirage. So let's see what Komp5 can do. We haven't seen any of the smokes outside drop lower tactic yet. It's generally the old favourite. This isn't going to be it. One smoke in the hands of Bell. See what he decides to do with that. Letty tapping away, finds one. Second player around, taps them away as well. Tidy shot straight to the dome with the silenced USP. The P shooter comes out on top into lower though, where the bomb does get planted. Ned going to try and soften these guys up as much as he can. He's got two out of that somehow. I don't really know how, but from what was going to be a very winnable opportunity for XPG, they're now up against it. 2v1 against. Lena decides to go for the element of surprise. Straight out the door into the site. Trading out comfortably, and that was all she wrote on that front. Showing us the opportunity to get two players from outside. Hasn't seen the second one, has now. Letty with a dig, third time of asking, finds a headshot. But numbers favouring the T side. They should be able to hit a site en masse. The sooner they do it, the better. Things are a little disjointed as XPG and Invicta try and get themselves back into a decent position to defend both of the bomb sites. Nothing doing though, really. So nade goes up into nest. Gabba trying to channel a few of her teammates and come up with some crisp 1-digs. It wasn't crisp and it wasn't a 1-dig, but it's a frag. It's a little more like it. Chance for another one, spamming away at range. Chance to be a star. Didn't quite come away that time. Let's go allow Komp5 to open up a nice lead now, 9 rounds. I see 2 players to find. Against the awesome power of the AK and Galil, didn't really stand a chance. 14-4. First real chance to get a full spend in. First real chance to dig their heels in, and when you're only 1 round away from getting a draw at best, and that doesn't help. Zoria really challenging 1-for-1 trade, but that is only going to work in the favour of the terrorists. Yeah, that's the problem when you don't get enough rounds on the board and you don't win pistol. By the time you do get the chance to make something happen, and you get everything that you want in your hands, and leaves you with practically 0 margin for error, and a couple of girls in trouble here. You can see on the X-ray players are around, but Eva's found one. Chance for a second and does get that one. Now chance for a third. They're playing rope-a-dope around the boxes and showing. Looks like he may have outgained both of them. Oh, Lena manages to pull the pistol out. No bullets and anything else, and comes away with it. Tapping away to the outside, drops the bomb. And they still live to fight another day. 14-5 though, still a 9-round deficit. Still no room for mistakes. As Showing joins Bell in the 20 bomb club. Hopefully XPG will learn about that player going down early doors, Zoria, and will decide not to challenge, but Letty is getting quite close. Tough spot to be in when that smoke dissipates. Generally have 2 players in there, but a smart Molotov flushes Bell all the way out. Only dents in by 20 though. It's quite an expensive investment to get 20 points of HP out of someone. But does allow Letty to get control now of what used to be radio room. Gonna continue working through. Squeezing some of these angles if she can. Just try and slowly pin Komp5 in, limit the areas that they can move as they're getting ready to stack into lobby. Nice 1-dig, walks all the way around from outside. 1-for-1 trade again. Still numbers advantage to XPG. 25 seconds left to go and they'll have to move quick. And that will be the plan to go into lower. Showing in the vents, ready to catch anyone on the drop. That's exactly what he's going to do. Should be able to get a rifle out of that as well, and does. Eva finds Hopperino. They're jumping out of the window as soon as his feet touch the walkway. He's in there making the 1-dig, but the timer ticks away. Another round for XPG Invicta. Close. But they had the numbers advantage all the way. As long as you can keep that going, you're gonna be all right. It's one thing they do have to worry about. Just draw your attention to the left side of the screen. They don't have a lot of spare cash flying around. That is the problem with CT's side, so they need a couple of dominant rounds. Losing very few of those weapons if they can. That's he just playing, just giving up ramp room, dropping away. Bell finds Zoria. So numbers in favour of XPG Invicta. No, all the way around. Numbers in favour of Komp5. Which Letty does even up. As he even goes down. Oh, Letty's evened it up again. She's playing a real balancing act. Finds Bell with a headshot as well. Nice work absorbing the pressure. 3v2 again in favour of XPG. Showing finds Lena. Gabba again. Instantly, whenever Komp5 get a frag, another one comes back the other way. Not going to be able to stop the bomb plant, but they will be able to get the frag.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
XPG showing good team chemistry as they're working together to bring this thing back. See Bell starting to get caught up by a few of his teammates. It was like a human broomstick in the first half, just sweeping him under the rug, but not so much here. Making full use of facilities. That boost up onto rafters. It's not a spot you're going to expect someone to be in. You have to make sure that you make that pay, though. As soon as you give the game away, you will have players looking in your direction. That's where you need teammates to be able to help you out and get the refrag, as Ned is able to find Lena, and showing also gets a frag. That's going to be helpful. Still doesn't allow them access to a bomb site. So Letty goes down. Second to the punch there, really, and that's a clean sweep. See Letty putting a 20 bomb on the board. Doesn't get involved, down she goes. This Komp5 attack. They're starting to hit their straps now, and they turn pretty spiky. A bit like a hedgehog. And that is going to be all she wrote. So a good bit of battling coming in there from XPG Invicta. They made it interesting after a pretty worrying start. Put some rounds on the board, made it interesting. But again, I think a little bit disjointed on their T attack. And that seems to be the theme of the day. Two teams that weren't able to get anything together really on T side. And we even saw Komp5. They struggled a bit on their T-attack to begin with. It took a while for them to get themselves into the game, but they were able to make it happen in the end. Thank you very much for watching, guys. This has been me jumping on a couple of random ESEA games. Hopefully we can make more of a habit of this now that the season is kicking back off and back underway. So drop me a follow and you'll get a notification whenever I go live for some random, but hopefully good quality Counter-Strike. Also drop me a message on here or on my Twitter at mcrossy12 if there's any games that you would like me to cover. I will try and deal with those as my schedule allows and make sure that your team or your favourite team gets a bit of time on stream if you haven't got regular commentators. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.